Barack Obama's daughter, Malia Obama, went to Lollapalooza, a music festival, just a few months ago. And while she was there, she did what anyone her age, she's 18 years old, by the way, would do. She had fun, and she's getting criticized for it. Now, a number of videos and images have popped up on conservative news sites, basically criticizing her for dancing in a sexy way, and also for allegedly smoking. Now, this video surfaced, which I'm going to show you guys so you know what we're talking about. And people are alleging that she was smoking marijuana, something she might have been smoking a cigarette. I'm thinking that it doesn't fucking matter. Take a quick look at the video. All right, so that's the moment of the video that everyone is apparently talking about. It looks like she took a puff of something. You can't really tell what it is. And so, you know, all these conservative sites are like, oh, I guess she's not that all-American good girl after all. First of all, okay. The Bush daughters were party animals, and they got criticized in the media for it, right? And I thought it was ridiculous. Who cares if they're party animals? They're young women, they're having fun, they're enjoying life, let them live. They're not the president of the United States, right? If you want to hold the leader of this country at a high standard, I totally understand where you're coming from. But why are you attacking, you know, the teenage daughters of the president? She's not doing anything that other people her age aren't doing as well.
Yeah, she's guilty of being a teenager.
Yeah.
Like, that's what we're talking about? Really? That's what people are upset about? And I went on and I was reading some of the comments on Facebook, and some of them were vicious.
Yep.
Like, horrific. And so I went on some of their pages, like their profile pictures, and these were middle-aged people, some of them parents, because you see them in the picture like with their daughter or their young son.
Right.
And I'm thinking, okay, so you're spending your time in the middle of the day bashing an 18-year-old. That says more about you. I'm more worried about you than Malia Obama.
Right.
But it's not even about, you know, bashing the behavior. It's more politically motivated, as you guys know, right? It's this whole notion of we have a black president, okay? They think that black people are thugs or whatever it is. They keep perpetuating these stereotypes. And so they see something like that and they use it for their fodder. And it drives me freaking insane. Because here's the thing, your daughter, your son, watching porn, smoking weed, dancing sexily, I know sexily is not a word, at these music festivals, acting like most people their age act. And I'm not saying like, oh my God, drug use is great, but here's the thing. There was a recent analysis in the number of people who smoke weed regularly, and the number has jumped considerably in the last few years, and it's because people feel more comfortable coming out and talking about their weed use or their marijuana use.
Of course.
It's way less dangerous than alcohol, and people talk about getting drunk all the time as if it's fine.
Well, let me say, you know, raise your hand if you did not smoke a joint when you're 18.
If you did not smoke a joint?
If you did not, raise your hand.
Well, I didn't smoke until I was in my 20s, but still.
Okay, so now I'm gonna break it down a step further. Her fingers were like this with what was going to her mouth. As small as it was, if it was a joint, she would have to hold it like this.
And I think a cigarette's worse.
Just letting you know. I mean,
Way worse.
But if she's holding a cigarette filter, people smoke cigarettes like this. If you're smoking a joint, you're holding it like this, especially when it's that small. I'm just saying.
Is that your experience talking?
That is my experience talking. I am an expert, you know, and in the state of California, Dr. Ahn, thank you, Doc, has said that I am, you know, medically cleared to have that.
Yes.
But
Same
yes,
here.
You don't hold joints like this when they're that small. I'm just saying, it doesn't matter what she's doing. I mean, she's 18 years old. The dancing sexually,
She was twerking. There's such a joke that people are upset about this.
Every time I go out and see people dancing, that's what, you know, people have been dancing like that since Whoop, There It Is back in like 92 with the 69 boys, you know. You can go too loud, you can go farther than that, but you know, that's how people have danced and having a good time. She was dancing with the girls. She wasn't gyrating on a guy or anything, so it's like,
and if she did, who cares? Like, I can't imagine if there was a camera on me every day or any time I went out in public when I was a teenager.
I used to say this about celebrities and stuff all the time. Like, you have the TMZ and everything else, and people are quick to pull out camera phones now. But, you know, 20 years ago, we didn't have camera phones. Could you imagine?
No.
Just think about when, like, the Rat Pack was going around. Could you imagine if you had cameras around Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin and all these guys and the stuff that they used to get into and all the rumors and stuff you used to hear about? Like,
wasn't the president messing around with Marilyn Monroe? Like, wasn't he like openly having sex with her? Like, not out in public, but like, I'm just saying.
I wonder, as far as his policy, speaking of President Obama, and then he's doing a lot of pardons for people that are in prison for nonviolent offenses like weed, possession even. So things like that. I feel like his mindset is probably on that, but he's like, I still have something holding me down. I'm kept in this box because I'm the president. I have to look a certain way. When is it going to finally get to the point where he said, you know what? My daughter smoked, and we all know he smoked. We know Bill Clinton smoked. We know Bush smoked and did all kinds of other stuff. And his daughters, the Bush daughters.
Yeah.
So all this stuff happens, and at one point we're going to say, you know what? It doesn't matter. You know, my daughter, yes, she does that. And guess what? She's going to Harvard. Right. Yes, she's smarter than your kid. Yeah. Yep, she does all this stuff. She doesn't look like she's going nowhere in life like people may think.
She's not hurting anybody.
Nothing. It should be an example of how fine it is, and let's get beyond it.
It's like, oh my God, they're normal.
So
Let it go.
You want him to address it.
I mean, he doesn't have to, but it's one of those things. It's a big deal when
destigmatize it.
Yeah, when Clinton came out and did it, or even when Obama came out and said, "Yeah, I smoked weed back when I was 20 years old." So as well as my daughter does too.
Yeah.
Big deal. Move on. In fact, let's just change it because my daughter shouldn't be any different than yours.
You know how the Young Turks beat CNN online? With you guys, with members helping us to do it. You know what the members said?
Anybody can be beat.
And then we said, once we'd done it.
To all the non-believers. How did that? To all the non-believers. Especially you, Tom Jackson.
You know what? You guys become a member, you could be part of that team too. And I know what you're thinking.
Can't wait.
So go right now, tytnetwork.com/join.